Hello friends, this is film critic Ayushmann from Cineblues, and I'm pleased to have Saurabh, who is the writer, one of the writers of the recently released Dr. G, starring Ayushmann Khurrana, Shefali Shah, and Rakul Singh in the lead roles. Dr. G is about student, a male student in the gynec department, who's the only male student, surrounded by all females who are pursuing gynecology in the class. And the film tackles various taboos and unconventional thoughts. And much like Ayushmann Khurrana's unconventional and bold choices of films, he also pursues various unconventional and uncomfortable discussions in the film. And we will discuss about Dr. G with Saurabh today. Hello, Saurabh. And before we move to Saurabh, I also have my guest for the evening, Garima Qureshi. She's also a movie buff, and I'm pleased to have Garima on this forum today. And yes, we also have Vishal joining with us, Vishalwagh, who is also the co-writer of Dr. G.
Yeah.
Saurabh and Vishal, welcome to this forum. First, we would like to know from you, like, how did the idea of Dr. G come into your mind?
So it was a very personal thing. I mean, I'll take ahead from this particular point. I'll say the idea strikes to me in 2011 because my wife was a doctor and she was doing her PG in gynecology from Bokaro General Hospital. So I went to meet her in 2011 when I was doing my film school. There was a break between the two semesters. So I went to meet her. And during that meeting, I stayed there for a week, and I saw the whole batch was full of girls. So it was a batch of 8 people, and there was 7 girls and only 1 boy. Okay. And I think I remember that guy's name was something like Ulhas. Okay. So from Ulhas Pote. Okay. So from that person, we got this whole idea, like how his life would be between these women who all are, the colleagues are all female, even the professors are female, and even the patients are female. So from there, this idea stayed with me. And in 2013, when I met Vishal and we were thinking about like what to start writing, this idea I narrated to him, and he also got extremely excited about it. And that's when we actually started developing it.
Okay.
Okay, so I have this question from both of you, Saurabh and Vishal, that अभी आपका जो एक thought था इस movie को लेके, then it got converted to a story and then a proper script, and now you're seeing your movie, in a movie form, आप proper उसको बड़ी screen में देख रहे हो, तो how are you feeling? अभी कैसी feeling आ रही है?
थोड़ा सा surreal feeling आ रहा है, मतलब जब लिखना चालू किया था तो ऐसे it was always in the मतलब ऐसे दिमाग में था कि ये कभी ना कभी तो मूवी बननी चाहिए, लेकिन जब एक्चुअली बन चुकी है तो ऐसे थोड़ा सा लगता है कि अरे तो बन गई.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry,
and it also because this whole journey was so long. In 2013-14 we started writing it. It's almost like 8 to 9 years. So and it shows so much of ups. It actually faced so many ups and downs. कितनी बार बीच में ऐसा लग रहा था कि शायद कभी ये फिल्म बनी नहीं पाएगी. So that way it does feel surreal. कि अच्छा finally बन गई, finally release हो गई, and finally we are talking like this.
Oh, fantastic. So if I remember, like Dr. G was announced much earlier, right? And it was probably during the pandemic, like the first or the second phase of pandemic. And I think the film was also shot during that period of time. So I think, and you were a team of 4 writers, right? You, then Vishal Ji, and I think Anubhuti also wrote
Anubhuti and Sumit.
Story. Yeah. And Sumit, of course, the dialogues. So how was can you tell us about the collaborative approach that you people put in a team? How was the experience?
Vishal, you want to take ahead?
थोड़ा सा एक मिनट सौरभ तुम बोल देना.
So actually The initial part of the writing was very research based. So myself and Vishal, actually, we interviewed almost 5 gynecs, including my wife. So we started collecting various experiences of these gynecs, and we started just putting them down. Okay, these are the various experiences, including which we see in the climax of the film, including all the small cases that you actually see in the film are real. So we started putting them down on the paper. Then we picked up the we started doing the character development, and we started putting it down the paper as a script. I remember the first draft, and Vishal can correct me on that. I think the first draft that we finished was in 2014. And then we started actually sending it out to the people, whoever we know. At that time, we barely know anyone. In 2015 end, so there were few directors before Jungly Pictures. They read it and they gave their precious comments about it, though it never happened with them. But then we finally approached Jungly Pictures. There Somin Mishra was there. So Somin Mishra, who is now the creative producer in Dharma Entertainment, Dharmatics. So he was earlier with Jungly Pictures. At that time, he read the story and he really liked it. And we get a call from him that Jungly wants to do this film, and let's get the paperwork done. So at that time, then Jungly Pictures only suggested the name of Anubhuti Kashyap. I was little skeptical about initially because I used to think that the person, the knowledge about this world is a very important thing, because else the nuances will be missed. But once we met Anubhuti at that time, I remember myself and Vishal had this discussion, and we felt it's very important to have a female director on board, so that the story actually get a female gaze, which we all talk about in the film actually. So that's when Anubhuti came on board, and myself and Vishal and Anubhuti, actually right where Vishal is sitting right now, we used to sit with Anubhuti and used to write, work on the scripts and everything. And then later Sumit came on board. When Sumit came on board, then one more draft has been written, in which Sumit worked out not only on the dialogues but also on the screenplay part.
Achha. Okay, great. And in the film, in the trailers, actually, in the promos, we see Shefali telling one thing to Ayushmann's character, that you need to have you need to lose the male touch.
The male touch.
वो किसका idea था? Was it Sumit's idea or your idea?
No, I'll give it to Sumit. That was Sumit's idea.
Okay.
It was there that you need to act like a doctor and not exactly a male or female. That was there. But giving that term male touch, it was done by Sumit.
Okay.
During the dialogue. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have, yes, thanks, Evan. I have a question to Vishal now, that Saurabh, as he said that he has some personal, his wife is a gynec and unka thoda personal reason tha. But this is a very bold topic, and abhi bhi, matlab, when you start your career, somehow we say ki go with zyada risk mat lo, and go with the safe options. So have you thought ki, ya kabhi bhi during while writing or jab movie ban rahi thi, have you thought ki this might risk your career and ye topic matlab lena chahiye, ya what you were thinking?
ये ख्याल दिमाग में तो होता था जब भी लिख रहे थे, लेकिन हमें ये भी दिमाग में मतलब डिसाइड कर लिया था कि लिखना है तो कुछ ऐसी चीज पे लिखना है कि दैट इज क्लोज टू योर हार्ट, कुछ लिखने में मजा आए अलग से, क्योंकि रेगुलर स्टोरीज के ऊपर तो बहुत मूवीज बनती रहती है. सो देयर आर सर्टेन टॉपिक्स पीपल आर नॉट टॉकिंग और they are not aware of. So why not do that? उसमें थोड़ी सी रिस्क इन्वॉल्व होती है, लेकिन we were willing to take that.
Actually, I would like to add this, that Vishal usually do not like any topics. I mean, I must have given him the 10 to 12 ideas कि ये लिखते हैं. Okay. Out of all those 10 to 12 ideas, he only picked this one. Hi, this sounds little different. Because he is a, I think he's a bigger critic than anyone else of Bollywood. Barely he likes anything.
That's nice. And how you selected Bhopal? Matlab, I know Saurabh, you're from MP, so that was the reason, या कुछ और इसका भी story?
No. It also has a very long story. Vishal will add. Where was the first city that we have set it down?
ये स्टोरी पहले पुणे में सेट थी।
अच्छा।
उसके बाद हमने एक दो बार चेंज हो गया, लखनऊ में गई, फिर दिल्ली गई, फिर बाद में आई थिंक जब प्रोडक्शन में एक्चुअली प्रोडक्शन टीम दे केम ऑन बोर्ड, तो आई थिंक डिस्कशन होके देन दे डिसाइडेड कि भोपाल में आएगा, थोड़ा सा उनका लिंगो एक अलग से होता है, तो इट विल गिव अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग टच। तो वैसे स्टोरी भोपाल में।
Also when the options were coming, and Bhopali is something that I was little aware of. I lived in Bhopal as well, so I thought that it would be interesting to hear the present day Bhopali in the film. So that's why.
And Saurabh, when you started writing actually about Dr. G, did you have a picture of Ayushmann? Because that time, I think 2013-14 times, he was already started taking up unconventional role. So
yeah, he did, but I think we were not thinking. To be very honest, we were not thinking about actor at all. Okay. There were few upcoming, but we knew about this one factor that it is not a conventional role. And in the initial drafts, myself and Vishal was also struggling with the fact that somewhere this character is so much in between being non-likable. I mean, at one point, it also can come across as a person who is not likable, and you don't root for him because he's like somewhere MCP. But
that is why I was coming to. He is shown as a chauvinistic kind of guy, and which is very practical. Yeah, that is
which is very practical.
Like so about the film.
So it was very very difficult to. We knew that whenever it will go to the actors, it will be little difficult for them to convince, because he's not too heroic in the film either. Even though in the end of the film he saves, but it was his mistake that he was actually rectifying. So he never comes across as a too heroic in the story. And I again, the credit goes to Vishal, because somewhere when any heroic thing needs to be added, then the graph of the character doesn't come across that well. So we never had an image, because we knew that I don't know which actor will actually say yes. But by the time the casting actually started happening, somehow Ayushmann became an organic choice to it. Like we knew that now Ayushmann is already doing films like this, so it becomes an organic.
जब पहली बार ये मूवी हमने पिच की थी स्टोरी, तो हमें एग्जांपल दिया था कि ऐसी कुछ स्टोरी बताओ जैसे विकी डोनर जैसी। आयुष्मान खुराना इनडायरेक्टली दिमाग में, मतलब we were not actively considering him, लेकिन ऐसे था कि हाँ, this would be an ideal actor. Right.
Yeah. So how was your experience working with Ayushmann and also with Shefali and Rakul Preet?
So I would say Ayushmann is very charismatic in that sense that whenever he's around, first is that he actually makes very ease with you. He never actually behaves like a star, which he is actually. So that's the best part. Second thing is that some characters, I think, especially the flawed characters, comes very naturally to him. So it doesn't actually take too much of effort for him to get into those sort of characters, which characters are somewhere not heroic and somewhere little flawed. So I never actually saw him struggling to get into the role. He was, from the day one of the sets, he was actually very much into the role. The parts which he was getting little problematic was the technical part of the film, and for that my wife was there on the set, so she was a medical consultant as well on the film. So she was there on the set to teach all the main actors about the physicality of how to pick up an instrument, how to do a certain things, how to cut an umbilical cord, all these things. For that, she was there on the set for all the medical scenes. So those part, they also prepped for that part as well. Like, for example, the vocabulary of those terms and everything. Yes. There was the classes that my wife has took of all the actors. About Shefali ma'am, I mean, I would just say that it's whatever you're going to write on the paper, she will always take the character to another level. So she is one of that actor that will ask 102 questions to you, to the writer and the director about the character. You need to be prepared, because if you don't answer those, she will answer by herself, and she will, unless she don't find an answer why the character is doing this, she will not actually get on the scene. So so she's a very prepared actor. Like, she wants to get prepared. She's like, Ayushmann is a very natural actor who do not want to get too much into over preparation or anything, because it comes very naturally to him. Whereas Shefali ma'am is she wants to know why the character is doing this and why she's doing this. So that's the difference. And actually it fits to their characters as well. If you see, it actually fits very beautifully to the character, whereas Uday is a person who's doing things as the flow comes. Like, in one scene he says, "Haan, to kar lete hain. Haan, to isme kya farak padta hai?" Right. And just like he is. And similarly, Shefali ma'am is the person who is well prepared, and she is giving the book to the character of Uday. No, go by the book. So it's very well cast in that sense, I would say.
So, like, you must have been on your toes all the while, because you'd be getting bombarded with questions from.
Yeah, definitely. More than me, Anubhuti, actually, because she needs to answer all that. I was like hiding behind Anubhuti. Yeah, you answer.
So, Saurabh and Vishal, tell me one thing I noticed in the film. Like, what's the conscious choice for you to not pair the Kulprit and Ayushmann opposite each other? Like, they have very different equations, right? So, was it a conscious choice?
ये जो मतलब real life में we didn't want to go a very typical way जहाँ पे hero heroine से मिल जाता है और बाद में सब they happily live ever after. ऐसा होता नहीं है. और जिस तरह के premise में ये story it's taking place, it's a very academically क्या बोलते हैं उसे, bustling place. हाँ, और उनके क्या priorities अलग है. They are flirting, but we didn't want to show कि हाँ ठीक है एकदम से typical fantasy world में जैसे होता है वैसे हो रहा है. ऐसे होता नहीं है जी. तो even though it is a comedy, even though it is a romantic comedy, we wanted to हर एक चीज का एक scope होता है, तो scope में वो चीज develop होती है और उसके बाद में things take their own place.
Yeah. और also actually medical world में ये कहा जाता है कि अंडर ग्रेजुएट की गर्लफ्रेंड पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट तक नहीं चलती और पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट की गर्लफ्रेंड से शादी नहीं होती. It's a very common thing in medical world. Yeah. So actually जब डॉक्टर्स की स्क्रीनिंग हुई थी तो a lot of doctors actually pointed this out. अरे you have shown it very correctly. That's what happens. Okay. Undergraduate वाली गर्लफ्रेंड कभी शादी नहीं होती उससे.
अच्छा, fantastic. Okay. So, tell me, like, how did you freshen up Shiba Chadha's character? She's the only one who is not a doctor, not in the medical profession, right? एक जगह पे उनको बोलते हैं कि there is a very funny conversation between Ayushmann and Shiba Chadha.
Yeah. So, I think that character goes a lot to Vishal's mother, actually.
Acha.
Wasn't your mother the prototype?
I think we mixed our mothers. Actually, that particular character is very ode to our mothers. Okay. In a way, I think why everyone is getting so connected, because each one of us actually seeing our mothers in that character.
Right.
Like little embarrassing, but loving, but little poking, but at the same time trying to be motherly. But at the same time, they had their own story, you know, where they had made sacrifices for us. So that's why that character comes out. But I find like this character is more like Vishal's mother.
Okay. It's an ode to our mothers. Great. Garima, any questions?
I have only one question that abhi to you're getting a lot of praises and itna successful ja raha hai, to abhi you want to take a break or you want to enjoy this, or you already ready with a new script?
नहीं, ब्रेक तो नहीं लेना है. ये पहली स्क्रिप्ट पहली मूवी बन गई है, तो अभी ब्रेक लेना तो इज नॉट अ वाइज डिसीजन.
Okay. I mean, not break, but you, like you want to take a moment to just enjoy it for a couple of days, or already काम चालू हो गया है?
काम already 4 साल से चालू है.
पहले ही चालू है.
Because this film was ready in 2018. जो फाइनल ड्राफ्ट भी बना है वो 2018 में राइटर्स का काम खत्म हो चुका था. तो हम लोगों का we were like done quite ago. So myself and Vishal, we are writing another script. It's a completely different genre, and I mean that script is you can say a fantasy comedy, and apart from that, I'm already writing one more feature film for Jungly Pictures only. So yeah, we are already working.
Fantastic. And Jungly Pictures is actually doing very well in terms of, you know, bringing good stories onto the large screen, onto the celluloid. Yeah, pretty good endeavor from Jungly Pictures.
Yes.
So yeah, with this month nahi ho raha hai, but we have to wrap up our conversation, Saurabh and Vishal. It was lovely speaking to you, getting the nuances of all the things that went behind Dr. G, and many congratulations on your success. We wish you all the best for the future projects. So
thank you
again.
Congratulations to both of you again. Nice talking to you guys.
Nice talking.
Thank you.
Thank you.